pretty good day in the NFL yesterday. Some big games. None bigger than your Rams lopping off my Seahawks.
Yeah, I thought it had a chance to be game of the year. And while it wasn't the best played game, it came down to a great finish and maybe the best punt you'll ever see in your life. And then, a 61-yard field goal that without that punt maybe is more like a 58-yard field goal and that goes in. So, and you can view it one of two ways. Well, if you're a Rams fan, the Rams are my pick to win the Super Bowl this year if Matthew Stafford stayed healthy. Matthew Stafford has been healthy and looks like an MVP, and I think the Rams stake their claim to being the best team in the NFL. They were better than the Seattle Seahawks. If you're the Seahawks, you view it one of two ways, and it's just if you're glass half full, if you're glass half empty. Glass half full is your quarterback could not have played a worse game and threw 4 interceptions, and you were still a 61-yard field goal and miraculous punt away from beating the best team in football. Or you can view it as we were damn lucky to even be in that game, and against the good teams that we've played, and there's been 3 of them, we're 0-3. And in the biggest game, Sam Darnold looked like the Sam Darnold that we saw at the end of the year in Minnesota, and did he just get exposed? So, and by the way, I think both of those things can be true. So like I said, it's just a matter of how you view it.
I don't view it either way. I view it simply as your quarterback turned it over 4 times, and if he doesn't, you win the game.
Yes.
So that is not a winning recipe. Like Sam Darnold. And by the way, there are not 2 Sam Darnolds. There is one. And he comes with good and he comes with bad. Yeah. And the bad shows up when he plays better teams. And I just don't know how anyone can say they have any faith in him against a good defense. How can you say it? Well, he turned it over. He has now turned the ball over because that team is good. Yes. Seattle's defense is legit. Yeah. And put the clamps for the most part after that. They had the 7 points right away. Mm-hmm. After that, they put the clamps on that Rams offense for the majority of that game. Yeah. Their defense is always going to keep them in games. Yeah. But how on earth can anyone sit and think that Sam Darnold is going to get them over the hump? Their defense is going to be consistent. It's going to be good. Yeah. You're going to play a lot of close games against good teams. But, Sam Darnold cannot play a clean game. He has turned it over 10 times in the last 4 games. Yeah. 7 picks and 3 fumbles. You're not going to win that way. It's over. Like there's no chance. And I guess you could say, well, if he stops turning it over, he doesn't. This is him. And when you watch him play, they're fine when he's on schedule and everything is what do they like to call it? Like you're ahead of the chains, right? Like everything. Yes. He's really good in that instance, and he has good receivers. They have a good offense. Kubiak's done a nice job with him. But, dude, when they warm him up, and they did on several occasions, you can almost see the turnovers coming. Yeah. Because his feet get real happy. He gets real dancy. He starts falling back on his back foot. I mean, it's really bad. And look, I'm not saying he's gonna turn it over 10 times every 4 games. He's maybe on a bad run here. But if you think that that's going to get cleaned up to the point where you can win a Super Bowl with Sam Darnold, I think you're crazy.
Well, and when I say there's 2 Sam Darnolds, that's kind of what I'm talking about, is what you alluded to. So he ended up this game 29 of 44, 279, 4 picks, right? When they ran play action, because remember, if you watch Kubiak's defense or Kubiak's offense, they run a lot of big personnel. They run a lot of 12 personnel, 2 tight end. They run a lot of max protection stuff because the O-line isn't very good. So a lot of their routes only have 2 receivers and then maybe a tight end leaking out or a back coming out. So there's not a lot of flooding zones, right? This is about keeping Sam Darnold safe, like you said, playing ahead of the chains, running the ball, even if it's not the most successful, the threat of running the ball. So play action in this game, he was 10 of 11 for like 79 yards. He was actually really good. But when you didn't have play action and it was just straight drop back pass, and a lot of that was because they fell behind, right? When you're behind 14-3 and the run game isn't necessarily working for you, then you have to go back and you have to throw. And those are the ones where Sam gets exposed, because then when you look at what he did when he wasn't in play action, he was like 19 of 30 with 4 picks. I mean, it was brutal.
But my point is you're not going to get one or the other. The only time you get one or the other is if you have a crappy defense. He can certainly expose a crappy defense. He has. You know, he can walk all over the Washingtons of the world, and he's shown that. But against good teams, you are not going to get one or the other. This is Sam Darnold, and it's their only problem.
Yeah,
it is a huge problem, man.
You
almost won in LA and had a grasp on that division, except for him. Yeah. It's really frustrating because the quarterback, it's like, for as good as he can be, this kills you. Like, it is the one thing that absolutely puts a nail in your coffin, and he does it over and over and over.
You have to play when you have Sam Darnold, and this is true if you have Geno Smith. It's true. I'm trying to think of other teams that have won. Ryan Tannehill, when he was in Tennessee, had this. I mean, there's a lot of I'm trying to think of teams that made deep runs. Minnesota was certainly this way last year. They lost in the first round of the playoffs, right? You have to play in the confines of a specific system. And Sam Darnold has shown over the last couple of years that when you play in the confines of that system, run the ball ahead of the chains, and it's not true drop back pass. He is not just an above average quarterback, he is a very, very good, bordering on top 10 quarterback. But yes, to your point, there is a giant hole in his game, and it's not just Sam Darnold. Remember, the Seattle Seahawks offensive line is not great. Zabel goes down, by the way, and you're playing already with a beat-up backup center. Your right guard is your worst offensive lineman. So this wasn't just that Sam Darnold can't function in the confines of 3rd and 6 and having to throw. This is the Seattle offensive line as well. And for most of that game, the Rams just played nickel and dime the entire time, knowing that Seattle wasn't going to run the ball to get back in the game. And it really caused Seattle a lot of problems. So yes, I can't disagree with what you're saying, but I take it with a little more of a grain of salt, saying that Seattle can win and Seattle can beat good teams with Sam Darnold. They just have to play. They can't fall behind, and they just can't fall into this. What would you say? It's not even a trap. You just can't fall into this style of play. They're like Iowa. They have one way to win.
Have they beaten a good team all year?
No, they have not.
Okay. Well,
that's what we said. Like when you look at their wins, they've beaten the Steelers, the Saints, the Cardinals, the Jags, the Texans, the Commanders, and the Cardinals. And they've lost now to the Niners, they've lost to the Buccaneers, and they've lost to the Rams.
I think there's a pattern there.
There is a pattern. Again, I'm trying to just simply kind of look at it if you want to go glass half full. They still have not been resoundingly beat in any of these games. The Niners game was, you let that thing slip away. Buccaneers that was the one game your defense didn't show up. That was just a shootout. And then again, despite the 4 turnovers, you had a shot with granted it was a long ass field goal, but you had a chance at a field goal at the end of that game to win it.
Yeah, the Bucs game was worse. Darnold actually played great.
Yeah, actually played great. It was the one time
didn't.
Yeah, it was the only time the defense didn't show up. So I'm with you. I think there's a limit to what Seattle is going to do.
Could I also point out though?
Yeah.
That at the end of the Bucs game, guess who turned it over?
Sam Darnold. Yeah.
I mean,
look,
he had a great game and he turned it over and they lost the game.
This is far from perfect, but just like I defended Geno Smith and I defended Baker Mayfield, and I know that Baker is better than that, but I think they're all kind of in that same category where
I think Baker's done a better job I think Baker's done certainly a better job than Geno, although Geno's now on a bad team with a bad offensive line. I mean, it's tough to. Yeah. But I think of those three, Baker has actually gotten better at the big turnover.
Yes.
Whereas Darnold and Smith have not.
Well, and Baker's just a better player than them. But I kind of put them in the same category that we all want Justin Herbert and we all want Patrick Mahomes and we all want now Drake May and we want these guys, and there just isn't enough of them to go around. So you go with what you have, and Seattle has built a team as constructed that when evil Sam Darnold doesn't show up, you can beat any team in the NFL.
Of course. Anybody can beat anybody on any given Sunday. That's not an argument. The argument is could you have gotten a quarterback that will hurt you less?
I don't think so.
Maybe you could have gotten somebody, and I don't know. I mean,
there just isn't a lot out there.
Well, but there are guys. I'm just saying. I'm looking at teams where they have quarterbacks who just don't like. I don't know. I guess Knicks isn't really one. I'm talking about not that are available. I'm just saying. We've seen teams that have quarterbacks that simply are not. They're not stars. They're not even all-pro players.
Yeah.
But they do what's asked of them. They take care of the ball and they don't turn it over. The high-low thing is what gets me with the Genos and the Darnolds. They're not all like that. There's a lot of guys who probably aren't as talented as Sam Darnold who will actually make better choices with the football. And I guess what I'm saying is I'd rather have that guy, even if it means your offense is scoring fewer points.
I think for what Sam Darnold has done in this offense, I think he has been phenomenal for Seattle this year. Are there limitations? Yes. Was this on him? This is his loss. Just is. And the ugly Sam Darnold, the evil Sam Darnold is starting to poke his head up. And I hope that this doesn't turn into a pattern here where you really have a backslide. And because some of these against the Rams were abysmal. They were just, there's no excuse. They are just beyond awful. But for me, when I look at Seattle and I say, what else was out there? I think you made the right choice between him and Geno Smith, and I don't know where else you wanted to go. But if you told me, like, to me, if someone just said Brock Purdy on this Seattle team, I think you're a Super Bowl team. I really do.
No question. He's really good.
But again, good luck finding him. Like, you found him, like, dumb luck. San Francisco didn't know what they were doing.
Well, what about Jones?
They stumbled into him ass backwards.
What about Jones?
Dude, Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold are the same player. Guy. They're the same guy.
Yeah.
And by the way, bad Daniel Jones is peeking his head up right now, too, and saying, hey, look at me. They're the same guy.
He's turning it over a lot, too, now. So he has, I'm looking at his, so Darnold has 10 turnovers in 4 games.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. That is not an occasional turnover. That is unacceptable. That has to, even for Sam Darnold,
has to stop.
That has to get, it's not going to stop. This is what he does. But it cannot be at that rate. No. It absolutely cannot be at that rate.
You can't win games this way.
Now.
You don't win games with 4 turnovers.
Let me see Jones.
I'm telling you, the last couple weeks it hadn't been pretty.
Believe me, I know.
He's on that path.
I've been one waiting for the regression all season.
And like someone brought up Jared Goff, don't do that. Jared Goff is light years better than any of the guys we're talking about. Jared Goff, again, now if you want to say limitations, here's another guy. Needs to play in the confines of a system. When you heat him up, you get him off his spot. He can look very ordinary, but his highs are top 5 or 6 quarterback in the league. He is that does a disservice to what he's done in LA, what he's done in Detroit, to put him in the category, no offense, of Daniel Jones and Sam Darnold. Don't do that.
You know who's weird? This is going to be so weird, but he kind of is like this. Yeah. Doesn't turn it over, but he's not that good.
Yeah.
Hurts.
Yeah.
I mean, Hurts is, and I'm not comparing Sam Darnold to Jalen Hurts. I'm not saying that Seahawks could have gotten a guy like Jalen Hurts. Like you said, they're just not out there.
No.
But you watch Jalen Hurts.
It's not good.
He's just not that good.
No.
But the one thing that he doesn't do, he doesn't turn it over. And it's wild because I was sitting there watching them last night going, Jesus, he misses by 8 miles. How does he only have 1 pick? Yeah. And for some reason, I don't know, maybe it's just his passes are so bad they can't even be picked. Maybe that's the ticket. Jones, by the way, just 3 turnovers. Well, he turned it over 5 times against. Oh, no fumbles. 3 interceptions against the Steelers. Yeah. And then he had 1 against Atlanta. So he only has 4.
I think the team game that they had against the Steelers was 6, but only 3 of them.
3 were his, and he didn't fumble. So
but he's not playing good.
He has 4 turnovers in 2 games.
Yeah.
Sam Darnold has 10 turnovers in 4 games.
It's not good. It's not good.
And again, what they're going to do is they're going to go play, I don't know, who do they play next?
It's a very soft schedule. Who do they have next? Bloop, 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 bloop. They've got the Titans.
Yeah, exactly.
Titans, Vikings, Falcons, 3-0.
Here's what's going to happen. They're going to rattle off 3 in a row, and Darnold's going to be better. Although I would say, Minnesota's defense is okay.
They'll give him problems.
They can give him because it's what's his nuts?
Flores, and they'll throw a lot of different looks, and you can confuse him.
He gave him exactly. And then
the Siako line right now is beat up.
And then Tennessee defense is, it's kind of scrappy, but you're right. They're going to go 3-0, and we're all going to forget about this. And then they're going to play Indy and the Rams. It's going to happen again, and I'm going to be on here again telling you cannot win with this guy.
I try to push back.
God,
but it's
I'm right.
It's a hard argument.
It's a nice argument that you make. It's very level-headed, but come on, dude. You're polishing a turd. That guy sucks.
It was as bad a game as you could play.
Anyway, the Rams have now won 12 of 16.
And yes, the Rams,
in that series.
The Rams are the best team in football.
And they come to Seattle on Thursday, December 18th.
Yep.
Thursday night. Yep. We will be preempted for that game.
And by the way, that end stretch here, Colts, Rams, Panthers, who suddenly could be a playoff team, and then the Niners, it's going to be a nice little stretch run for the Hawks.
Freaking Panthers doing?